Next song is number 5, and that is The Wings of Time. So this song served two main purposes, the first of which was just to kind of act as a little bit of a peaceful, I suppose, interlude between all of the heavy and mad songs that come before and after it. But its second purpose was continuing that little universe saga that I mentioned in episode 1 with first it was Awakening, then it was The Wings of Time, and then later on we'll talk about Ethereal Skies in episode 3. And The Wings of Time it was kind of built off my fascination with all things time travel, like my Steins Gate t-shirt, for example. And within Final Fantasy XIV, there's the Alexander quest line, and all those sorts of time travel-y things, but kind of linking it to the theme of the whole little journey that I went on. The Wings of Time is very much just a peaceful journey where you just let the time pass by and you don't really do anything, and before you realise it, you've lost a year, 2 years, 5 years where all of this stuff has happened, and you just lose track of time, and as you get older that becomes more of a thing. So The Wings of Time follows that sort of just drifting through time and time travel kind of theme. It's very peaceful, lots of orchestra, lots of acoustic guitar, and it works really nicely as an interlude before we kick off again with the next song, which is Beyond the Seventh Sea, which we'll talk about now. So that was The Wings of Time. Following from The Wings of Time, we have the 6th song, which is Beyond the Seventh Sea. And after the rather dark and depressing start to the album, this is where it all kicks off and we start to see the positive, optimistic side of the music. Beyond the Seventh Sea is all about, well, there's the pirate side of it, because you've got to have a bit of fun with that. But the focus for this song was really about breaking boundaries, pushing beyond our limits, and doing our best to get out there and find whatever it is that we're looking for. The title for the song came along very quickly because I had this idea of pirates always looking or travelling and finding treasure in the 7 seas. They're sailing the 7 seas. Well, what if there was an 8th one that they didn't find, or a 9th, or a 27th, or whatever it is that they may not have found? And that was the real idea behind this, getting out there and finding something that someone else may not have found and may have even said was impossible. In terms of my journey, it was a case of we've gone through all of this depressing stuff, and it's a case of we need to push through and make those steps to get everything right again, to make everything better. Whether it's getting on the phone and talking to people, whether it's opening up to your friends and family about it, whatever it is, that's what that song was all about. Breaking barriers, finding something new, and taking that step towards, I suppose, recovery and getting better. Musically, it was great fun to put together. It was done on the 7-string, so it's got some of that nice sludgy heavy stuff, but at the same time it's got some really bright and uplifting guitar playing as well, and I particularly enjoyed coming up with and playing the bass lines on this one. It really pushed me to hone in on my bass playing and my finger picking style, and hopefully I've improved significantly by getting through that song. There's that one, Beyond the Seventh Sea. The seventh song, and last one we will talk about today, is Deliverance. This was possibly one of the more straightforward songs on the album, despite some of its crazy time signatures. That verse was very difficult to put together. But at its core, it just had a very simple task. All it had to do was be very upbeat, a little bit fast, but kick through as a good old-fashioned happy rock and roll song. It does have a few little descending bits where it has a bit of an ominous feel to it, but that's deliberate because it ties in perfectly with The Dark Tower, which will kick off episode 3 in a few weeks' time. But Deliverance, nice, straightforward, very happy, upbeat rock and roll, and that was all it really needed to do. There isn't much else to say about that song other than it just had to lift the spirits, continue with that positive vibe that Beyond the Seventh Sea was bringing to the table, and it does exactly that. That's it for episode 2 then. There's one episode to go where we will talk about the final 3 songs that will come out in a few weeks' time. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, do all of those things across the various platforms and get the word out about all of this wonderful music. Take care, and I'll see you in a few weeks for episode 3.